go to the hop. Let's go to the hop. Let's go to the hop. Baby, let's go to the hop.
Throwback music. Tensions rising along the border with Mexico. Angry residents in Tijuana clashing with thousands of migrants from the Central American caravan entering their city in the hopes of seeking asylum in the USA.
We don't dislike a certain group of people because they're from one country or another. We are here because our government has not taken control of these, what we call invasions.
Donald Trump es verdad. Es una invasión.
The mayor there, quote, warning of a tsunami of nearly 3,000 people. It could last 6 months or more, they say. The Mexican government also saying the numbers could swell to as many as 10,000. Meanwhile, President Trump is demanding Democrats help secure the border. So, Katie, I mean, the news as we're coming on the air tonight was, oh, you know those additional troops that were sent to the border? They're being pulled back.
Well, what was the mission? The mission was to help build fencing and barbed wire. And if you look at the photo the president sent out today, there's razor wire all over Tijuana's fence where these people are as a deterrent. So we'll see what they say about whether the mission was completed or not. But I find it interesting that a couple of weeks ago, everyone was wondering why President Trump was talking about the caravan. He's fear-mongering because it's so far away. Well, he was talking about it because now it's here. And we have a bottleneck now of thousands of people who are waiting around in Tijuana and stuck there as a result of not listening and going back to their home country before getting there and claiming asylum. They're processing about 100 people per day. There's another caravan behind them of about 10,000 people that is going. And if you look at the screen to your left, this is the kind of violence that we've been hearing, not from President Trump, but from the Senate Judiciary Committee, reporters who have been inside the caravan to see what's going on. And it's coming to a head now. And I'm just wondering if the people in Mexico are going to be accused of racism like people in America who are warning about this type of humanitarian disaster that we've allowed to come into the country or beyond the border with the country as a result of bad policies and laws that Congress refuses to change.
So, Jesse, also we have judges now, we have lawsuits being filed about the fact that the caravan or immigrants seeking asylum are being directed to ports like Tijuana as opposed to being allowed to go to any spot, which is what the law now currently says, and claim asylum.
I haven't heard that. I just can't believe how bigoted Mexico is. You know, Mexico should just be accepting these people. I mean, they are fleeing violence, Juan, and they're mostly women and children. How dare these Mexicans treat these people so inhumanely?
Hey, wait a second.
They should be baking them goods and helping them on their travels.
Jesse, when the president was stirring this fear storm, you said, or maybe it was Greg, that if the migrants really were in danger, why don't they accept Mexico's deal, which Mexico said you can stay here?
Did they? Is that what Mexico said?
And they said no because they just, which was the dumbest thing, and why it was driven by activists is that they were often a place to stay. They said no, we'll keep going. Thank you.
They don't want to stay there. They want to keep going to America. Right. I didn't change my message. I know what your message was. Your message was the caravan was going to disappear.
No,
once the midterms happened, because you said this was a whole fantasy, and Trump was just stoking anger from his base to scare people up to voting. And then all of a sudden, everyone said after the midterms were over, we're going to hear about the caravan. Well, what? You know what? Caravan's here, and the caravan's real. Yeah. And the people in Mexico don't like it. You know what they said? They said, I want a president who enforces immigration law, unlike our president who's not doing it. They're very dissatisfied. And if you look at the local reporting, NBC did a very nice job. They said, there are people scaring children at schools, doing things like, I'm not even going to repeat. They're begging, they're drinking, they're doing drugs. 500 of the members of the caravan in Tijuana right now are gang members, according to the reporter hit on Dana's show, which I watch every single day, 2 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss the briefing.
So, Dana, the question now also before the courts is, does violence and even domestic violence justify a claim of asylum?
Well, but we've been talking about this for a little while because it will break your heart. Right, but if the government is not after you, I think it's one thing. You're fleeing violence from what? Is the government unable or unwilling to protect you? So you are fleeing. So like if somebody from a Syrian refugee might seem more, you might feel more sympathetic towards that person than somebody who is fleeing a situation where they just want to have a better job and a chance at a better life. I feel like we should solve a lot of these problems at their sources. There's also 2 big lawsuits that are happening regarding the asylum claims. And I would just say this to Democrats. If the president is still willing to put that deal on the table, take him up on it, because I don't think
one about the wall.
The wall. Well, it wasn't just the wall; it was DACA, and you could figure out a couple other comprehensive pieces of immigration. The business community wants more legal immigration. Take him up on it, because I don't think it will hurt your chances in 2020. I think it would be a wash. So if they're thinking that, oh, we can't give him a win because it will hurt us politically, I think they should sweep that aside. America needs to get this done.
I think this also proves that countries have borders, whether you're Mexico or the United States. And Mexico's dealing with the problem of allowing these people to move up through. And now they have this very serious situation where thousands of people are camped out inside of one of their cities. And the mayor and the people are saying, look, we just don't have the resources. It's the reality of the situation.
So I think it was driven to Tijuana, but Greg?
Yeah, okay. There's an upside to this that we're missing, and that is that Mexico and America agree on something, and it's something that is actually universal. It is human nature to desire a process, an order, and a border. And also, you do feel a sense of line cutting, especially with something that is politically manufactured, like this caravan, for lack of another phrase. That's why they call it an invasion, because there is really no name for it. But the fact is, it is human nature to be upset about this, and it's not racist.
It's not racist because these Mexicans are upset from Central Americans.
Right.
They're the same race.
It proves a very, very potent human point.
I don't think it was about race. I think it was about Trump trying to stir his base to get out.
Well, you said it was about race for the whole midterm.
You do that. Up next.